Since the origin of man, there has been controversy over religion and ultimately the purpose of human life on this earth. Because there are countless religions and interpretations of our being here, people have lots of different answers to this question. Who created us? What power do they hold? Wars have been waged all over the world to uphold the values and teachings of religion. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at Bible mysteries. A 1500-year-old Bible argues Jesus' fate. Christianity has broken into many sectors throughout the years, each adhering to their own moral codes and interpreting the Bible in different ways. Like any piece of literature, the Bible is indeed up to interpretation. However, it's hard to interpret a story when it was never told in the first place. According to the Ethnography Museum of Ankara, Turkey, a new version of the Bible believed to be 15 to 2,000 years old has resurfaced and caused upheaval to the Christian faith. This is because this Bible includes the Gospel of Barnabas. The story reveals that Jesus was never nailed to the cross, but he was also not the Son of God. This story insists that Jesus was only a prophet and that his fate was not crucifixion at all, but that he instead made it to heaven. However, the story of crucifixion is not completely lost. In this story, Judas Iscariot was believed to be nailed to the cross instead. This book came to light during a heist when a group of thieves attempted to smuggle highly valuable goods across the Mediterranean Sea. This version of the Bible is believed to be worth over $25 million, both for its shocking revelations and antiquity. It's no secret that the world of Christianity and the world of Islam have been at odds for years. However, this contention is largely based on how we as people should interpret Jesus' place in the Bible and thus honour him thereafter. Because this new biblical story reveals that Jesus quite possibly knew the Prophet Muhammad and foresaw his arrival, it can be said that if Christians do decide to honour this new gospel, then their teachings and belief systems might align differently. However, it is common practice of any church, but especially the Christian church, to pick and choose which stories they want to include in modern practice. After all, it wasn't until the 1970s that the word homosexual was included in the Bible. It takes a keen scholarly eye to authenticate the true intent of Jesus' word at the conception of the Bible. But it takes only several elders of the church to manipulate the transcriptions to align with modern belief systems. While the Vatican remains highly interested in this new finding, it cannot be said whether the entirety of Christianity will change because of it. We do know one thing though. If this gospel stayed hidden from us for more than 1500 years, then it is reasonable to wonder what else is out there. Dead Sea Scrolls turn out to be fake. The Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. is home to hundreds of religious artifacts and exhibits, some of which have been deemed the most prolific archaeological discoveries in recent history. One of the most popular exhibits is the remains of the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls revealed some authentic Hebrew texts straight from the original Hebrew Bible itself. However, these texts were not authentic at all. After a 6-month investigation by Colette Loll, detective at Art Fraud Insights, it was concluded that the scrolls were a deliberate attempt of forgery. It is believed that the material used to write on the scrolls came from an old leather shoe. This new evidence was heartbreaking to the Museum of the Bible and its patrons alike. The museum is a popular destination for church meetings and youth groups to gather to learn more about their own religion and the beliefs of others. To now discover that some of the artifacts into which they have been honouring and giving faith are fake is a massive undertaking. Founder of the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. is evangelical Christian billionaire Steve Green. Green is believed to have spent over $500 million to open the museum, but has no records of authentication for many of his most popular artifacts. It is suspected that Green turns a blind eye to unauthenticated pieces just to bring in a crowd. However, his efforts to ignore these accusations are being brought to light as more and more of his exhibits undergo scrutiny by museum patrons and art investigators. The process for authenticating an ancient artifact is slow, deliberate, and meticulous. Art experts use 3D analysis, infrared spectroscopy, and X-rays to conclude their findings. The thoroughness of their reporting is the backbone of museum success and reliability. In other words, a museum means nothing if none of its findings, exhibits, or artifacts are original. This astonishing discovery disrupts the entire story of how these Dead Sea Scrolls got into the hands of modern humans in the first place. It was originally believed that a shepherd looking for a lost sheep wandered into a cave in Qumran near the shore of the Dead Sea, where he found the fragments of the scroll. This story is now up for debate as new evidence proves that the scrolls were likely deliberately forged. Did someone plant them there? Was it the shepherd himself looking to strike it rich? Was it the Museum of the Bible curators who have since been accused of stealing artifacts from Iraq? The Lost Ark of the Covenant. As the Israelites were making their way across the Sinai Desert after their departure from Egypt, Moses, with strict orders from God himself, commanded them to construct the infamous Ark of the Covenant. Inside the Ark is home to numerous tablets engraved with the 10 Commandments from the Hebrew Bible that are believed to host magical powers, both good and evil. The tablets are believed to be made of gold from the Garden of Eden, representing the morality of the universe. Like any biblical story, the truth of the matter is up to interpretation. Scholars who have studied the lost Ark of the Covenant have debated whether the Ark is made of gold or wood, or both, what kind of powers it has, and ultimately where it ended up after vanishing from Jerusalem in 587 BC. God gave the Israelites extremely specific instructions for building the Ark of the Covenant. According to God, the Ark should be made of both wood and gold. However, the wood must be acacia wood, that is 3.75 feet long and 2.25 feet wide. God then instructed the builders to sheath the wood with gold both inside and out. There was to be a cherub facing a certain direction on the lid of the chest, with its wings spread upward, casting a shadow below. To imagine that Israelites wandering through the desert for 40 years were expected to create such an artistic masterpiece with only their hands and some gold is a huge undertaking, even with God's guidance. To make this story more believable to modern people, it is now believed that God chose only one man to be the designer of the Ark and gifted him the skills he would need to complete the task. One of the most popular theories is that the Israelites used the Ark to gain advantages on their way to conquer Canaan after their extended journey through the desert. According to the Hebrew Bible, the Ark had the ability to stop water from flowing in the Jordan River so that the founders of the Ark could carry it across. It is also believed to have helped the Israelites in various battles on their way across the desert. Because the Ark was thought to be so powerful and had brought the Israelites such good fortune, it became a hot commodity. It was eventually stolen from the Israelites, but shortly thereafter, the thieves were swept with disease and fatal illnesses, causing them to return to the Ark immediately. Once the Israelites had reached Shiloh, the Ark was taken by King David and given to Solomon to be brought to Jerusalem, where it would stay in the temple. Roughly 2,000 years ago, the Ark disappeared once again. Scholars predict that the Ark was stolen for its supposed powers and is now hidden in Ethiopia at the St. Mary of Zion Cathedral. The cathedral has a monk called the Guardian, who is the only person allowed to see the Ark. There has been no authentication of the Ark to determine if it is the original from the Bible stories. Other theories run rampant about the true location of the artifact. The Book of Maccabees states that the Ark is hidden in a cave in Mount Nebo and will remain unfound until called upon by God. At that point, we will know that God is giving us mercy because of the prolific powers that the Ark holds for human beings. Still, there is always discussion about the Ark being revealed only when the Messiah comes to earth to rescue his people. And finally, the Ark is also believed to reveal itself only in the final days in the existence of the universe. But what do you make of these Bible mysteries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.